Hello traders, I'm Ignat Borisenko and this is WaveTrading. So markets are going to close soon, just in 15 minutes. So there are my plans for the next week, and let's start with dollar index. As you can see on the daily chart, the main trend is still bullish and there's an opportunity to have wave 5 here. So I'm keeping my two long trades cause we are likely going to have wave 3 in the next week. Australian dollar versus New Zealand dollar has a quite tricky wave count cause we've got here a bullish impulse which could be wave 1 inside this wave 5, but also these price movements could be wave 5 itself, which means we're going to have a quite big correction. So I'm going to move my stop loss higher, here. It's the nearest critical level, so if the price go higher next week, I'm going to buy more, but if the bigger correction starts, I'll be out of the market. And my favorite market this week is Dow Index. I've got here 5 long trades, and it seems like we're going to have another bullish impulse, which could be wave 5 inside this big wave 3. Which is extended here. So if this bullish impulse continues, I'm going to buy next week even more. And we've got a new high on Nasdaq, and this wave 5 is likely going to be continued next week. I've got 5 long trades here, and I have just moved my stops here at the nearest critical level, which is a low of wave 4. So when this impulse ends, I'm going to close half of my trades. Japanese yen is still bullish cause this wave 2 of B could be ended in a form of a zigzag like A, B and C, and also we've got here a bullish impulse which could be wave 1. Also there's a flat in wave 2, which means we've got here a bearish impulse in this wave C, like this wave C. So I'm keeping my long trade here, and if we see a bullish impulse somewhere in here on Monday, I'm going to open the second long trade. And I've just got 2 stop losses on Euro Pound cause we've got this bearish wave which could be wave 4 inside this possible wedge in wave 1. So I'm out of the market here until this local correction, wave 4 ends, and we see somewhere in here a small bullish impulse. And dollar versus crown is still very interesting because it seems like this wave 2 has been formed like a double zigzag, like WXY, and also we've got a bullish impulse here which could be wave 1. And as you know, we've got a quite bullish wave count on a weekly chart, which means this wave 5 is likely going to be continued soon. So I've got 1 long trade here, and I'm going to buy more next week. And we've got this bearish story on euro dollar with a triangle in wave B and a possible bearish impulse in progress in wave C. Which means we have here a wedge in wave 1, and wave 2 is also likely ended here. So there's a bearish impulse which could be wave 1 here, so this wave 2 is likely going to be continued next week, and that's a reason why I don't have any trades here. I'm just waiting when this zigzag in wave 2 ends, and when it happens I'm going to sell to trade another bearish impulse which could be wave 3. However, this wave count requires a confirmation which could be a small bearish impulse somewhere in here when this zigzag ends. And we've got, a truly wave nightmare on British pound, cause we've got here a correction which could be wave 4. This wave 3 is likely ended here. But as you can see on the 1 hour chart, we've got a zigzag here which could be wave A or W. And this wave B or X is likely going to be continued, maybe in a form of a double zigzag with a triangle in this wave X. So this wave count means we can have just another zigzag in this wave Y, but also wave X could be continued again in a form of a triangle, something like that. So I'm out of the market until this wave count becomes more clear. The main trend on Turkish lira remains bullish, which means this price movement could be just a correction. We've got here a huge extension in the third wave, like this one, so it's time for a correction which could be something like that. So as you can see on the 1 hour chart, we've got here a possible zigzag, there's a bearish impulse and a diagonal triangle which could be wave C. Again, I'm out of the market here, but if we see a bullish impulse here on Monday, I'm going to buy to trade just a local impulse, which could be wave A. And I've got my stop losses on Canadian dollar versus Japanese yen, and I am currently out of the market cause this correction wave 2 could be continued. So I'm just waiting when we see somewhere in here a small bullish impulse, which could be the first wave inside this wave 3. And if it happens, I'm going to buy. And Australian dollar, the most interesting market so far, cause we've got here a triangle which could be wave 4, and we've got a pullback from the upper side of this pattern. So I've got 2 short trades, and I'm going to sell more next week if this bearish impulse in wave 1 continues. And bears are coming back on gold, which means we have here a wedge which is likely wave 1. And also there's a zigzag which could be wave 2, so the market is likely going to decline in wave 3, and that's a reason why I've got my short trades here. Also, I'm going to sell even more next week if this bearish wave continues. Meanwhile, I've got one long trade on oil cause we've got here a bullish impulse which could be wave A, and also there's a correction which could be wave B. And all these waves are inside this possible diagonal triangle in this wave C. So I'm going to trade the common bullish impulse, which could be wave 3 next week. Shares are interesting as well, and I've got 2 long trades on McDonald's, and I'm going to buy even more next week cause this wave 3 is likely going to be continued. At the same time, I've got 4 long trades on Goldman, cause there's an opportunity to have an extension in the third wave. So if we see here a bullish impulse in this possible wave 3, I'm going to buy even more. And I've just opened a long trade on Tesla cause we've got a pullback from the lower side of this bullish channel, and also we've got a support by this moving average line. In this case, we're likely going to have another bullish impulse which could be wave 5, and if this impulse continues, I'm going to buy more. I'm also keeping my long trades on Facebook cause there's an opportunity to have an extension in the third wave, I mean this one, so we can have a new high here next week. And finally, Apple, where I've got just one long trade, but this wave 5 could be a little bit bigger, so I'm keeping this trade with a break-even stop loss. So that's all for this video, thanks for watching, see you next week, have a good weekend.